Hello, friends. Hello, friends. We are coming to the end of the school year here in North America, and summer is beckoning. My daughter just finished her last day of high school this last week. So things are fixing to change around our house. Today we are talking about, there we go, breathing. I know, you're like, really? Breathing again? I've been hearing about this and talking about it my entire singing life. Yes, I have. Do I really need another thing about breathing? Hi, Rita. Well, you know what? Maybe you do. Because I really truly doubt that any of you have had a voice teacher or instructor tell you that you can get a lot of vocal ease with a predictable laryngeal outcome if you embrace your primate self and breathe like a chimp. If you have had someone tell you that, I would be more than happy to be wrong, and I would encourage you to tell me about it in the comments. So most of us were given the instruction along the way in our vocal journeys to support our tone. Now, some of us had really clear instructions about how to do that. It's Chris. Hi, Chris. Some of us have had instructions about how to do that. And for some of us, that really stuck and became a really good foundational tool in our teaching toolbox. But I was not one of those people. I never understood personally, but just coming clean. Oh, Christine is here. Hi, Christine. Christine said, I read that you like a chimp, and then, oh no, that's what she said. Wait. I read that as like a champ. Oh, and then thought, no, that's not what she said. Yes, well, I'm sure that some of you already breathe like a champ, but we're going to breathe like a chimp. Anyway, so I didn't get the support thing, but even if you did get the support thing, you had a great teacher. They explained it really well. And you have tools that really work well for you as a singer. Now you're a teacher. And if you know that what worked well for you does not always work well for your students. There's never, as we well know in teaching, there's never a one size fits all, right? Simona is here. Hello, Simona. Additionally, also, and furthermore, breathing for classical technique is overkill for microphone singing. In classical technique, the voice is doing all the work to create the volume. The voice is doing the work, right? And the music has certain aesthetic demands. In microphone singing, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to come back. Hold on. Remember that we're where we were, everybody. So Chris said, I had a teacher in my sophomore year that didn't even say hello. Instead, he hopped around like a gorilla. Love it. I love it. We should make a book of our crazy stories we all have from our voice lessons. Just voice lessons, never mind performing. Anyway, okay. So in classical technique, the voice has to do all the work, right? And there are aesthetic demands. Yes, we know. In microphone singing, this does the sonic heavy lifting. And the aesthetic considerations are defined by the singer. Ergo, different kettle of fish. So I'm going to tell you about breathing for microphone singing and about how to exploit the way your respiratory system behaves to create reliable breath support. Hear me, y'all. Exploit the way you are already wired. That's what we're doing today. So it's interesting. It's very interesting and very chimpy. Not chumpy, not champy, chimpy. I'm Meredith Colby, and I support voice teachers to create confident singing of popular styles and teaching. Singing and teaching. There we go. I'm the author of Money Notes, How to Sing High, Loud, Healthy, and Forever, which introduces Neuro vocal method, a way to use brain science to teach healthy technique for people who sing into microphones. My freebie today is a link to my free stuff page, which changes all the time, but today it has a little info about the upcoming neurovocal certification course and an option to sign up for my email list and get my ebook that people rave about. And actually, I think I have a quote by Rita, who's here today, on that page because she really liked it, and her opinion counts a lot because she clocked her 10,000 hours as a band singer. I also have a no strings attached link to an article about the stuff that I'm talking about today, as well as a link to a video that has the sort of how-to of how we're doing this, okay? So put Chimp in the comments, and the Neurovocal bot will send you that link. Also, if you're watching this on Facebook, there will be a link in the comments below. You don't have to put Chimp in there. Also, you have to tell the bot, again, back to Facebook, if you want to get a reminder about my broadcasts on Monday where it just pops up and says, hey, Meredith is having a... You have to tell it. You have to click the little button, and then it will tell you next week, which is great. So I also have to, I don't always do this, but I'm going to today. I'm excited to say that the second and final offering for 2021, I know it's only May and I shouldn't be the final, but it is the final offering for the Neurovocal Method certification course. It is sneaking up fast, y'all. I'm offering 2 sections this time, because I'm trying to be nice to my friends down under. There is an Australia-friendly time. Voice teachers who sign up before May 31 are going to get a bunch of extra stuff for free with this class. A bunch. There's a list of all the things. So if you are considering getting solid with your teaching of popular styles, and I don't know, maybe you're singing of popular styles, I hope you will take the time to get some information about this class. It really, you guys, in scheduling, time, price, applicable tools, professional respect. It's all aimed at the working voice teacher. No one's going to be talking down to you. It's all about brain science. It's about popular styles. Super interesting and really focused and really applicable. You will get the information page, or you can get the information page via my site, where it is listed under the voice teacher's drop-down menu, or by putting Chimp in the comments, which will bring you to the page that has the free stuff and a link to the page that has the info. So make some time to get some information about that. I think you'll like it. Oh, there we go. Chimp. Put Chimp. Put Chimp in the comments and you will get that. So I hope you will share your thoughts with me. I love when you guys chime in and tell me your experiences and your thoughts and ideas. If something gives you a takeaway, don't say that's interesting. That happened to me. I have something to say about that. Hashtag that. Hearts and thumbs are always appreciated because, Facebook. Because Facebook. Anyway, okay. So let us get to it here now. I want thumbs up if you have you had that time with your friends where you have laughed and 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 I wish I could stop laughing because my face really hurts? And I hope you have, because we all need to have times like that. So most of us have had that, maybe all of us have had that experience. And it was great to laugh that much. But what I want to point out to you about that time, got a thumbs up, at least somebody has friends. I'm teasing you guys. Anyway, I want to point out to you that when you had that night where you laughed and laughed and laughed, you did not lose your voice. The next morning, your voice was fine. From a respiratory perspective, laughing is a pretty violent activity. It pushes the vocal folds open over and over again with this really intense subglottal pressure. Oh, good. Thank you. We got more thumbs up. Thank you. I'm glad you guys have friends like that. Anyway, so it pushes the vocal folds open with this intense subglottal pressure, and it seems like it should be really hard on your voice, but it appears not to be hard on the voice because people don't lose their voices from laughing. Compare that laughing experience to the evening that you went to the basketball game in the big loud arena, or you went to a nightclub that was really loud, or you were at a wedding reception that was really loud, and there was just all this ambient noise, right? Has everyone had experiences like that? So now you're a singer, though. So even though you were in a really loud place, you powered through and talked anyway. Right? Singers, we are the worst, aren't we? we had to, like, why let 100 decibels stand in the way of you sharing your thoughts with the person next to you? You have to talk. So that experience, when you did that, you felt that. You felt that in your voice the next day, or you might have even felt it that very same night. So you could feel that you had stressed your voice. It was telling you how it felt about all that loud talking. So what's the difference? How come the laughing didn't hurt you, but the talking did hurt you? And it is because you were laughing. When you were laughing, you were breathing like a chimp. And here we are. Here we are at the chimp, the chimpiness. I found a spokesmodel for this on TikTok. You'll be happy to know. She is not a chimp. She is a gibbon. But she's doing the singing, laughing noise, and she is showing us how she breathes. So I hope I can do this right. So watch her tummy. Watch her tummy as she does this, okay? Isn't she so cute? I love that. So I don't know if you guys could hear that because I don't know if I got the sound right, but it doesn't matter if you could hear it or not. You could see, even if you couldn't hear her, you could see that she was, she was making a lot of sound, and you could see what her tummy was doing. So when you laugh, you breathe in that same way. You breathe in a way that you typically reserve for reflexive responses like, oh, everyone's giving the gibbon the heart. I know she was so cute. Anyway, when you laugh, you breathe in a way that you typically reserve for reflexive responses such as coughing, sneezing, or crying out in pain or surprise. So those really reflexive, what? You've burned yourself. Those kind of things are very reflexive. Those are animal noises. Yeah, you make animal noises. You do. Now, if I asked you why you laughed, you'd probably say you laugh when things are funny, right? And you do. But that is only a small percentage of the laughing that you do. We humans are social animals, like our primate brethren, who are also social animals. We have ways of communicating that are beyond words, right? We communicate a lot with our facial expressions, and this is why never argue via text. We communicate a lot with our facial expressions, with our body postures, with the inflections in our speech, all those things. I mean, like, oh, that's so nice of you is so very different than, oh yeah, that's so nice of you, right? Very different meaning, same words. We communicate a lot with that. In fact, according to researcher Sophie Scott from University College in London, there we go, you have a whole vocabulary of laughing sounds for different things. And, think about it, like the polite little chuckle for when somebody does a bad pun, right? Or that barely audible little laugh when you're embarrassed for someone, or the patently fake laugh that forgives someone for like forgetting your name. You know, the strident ha when you know you have said or done the right thing. If you start to notice, you'll notice that you communicate a lot and not with a lot of conscious intention by laughing. Laughing bonds us together. As with other primates, laughing tells the other members of our group, of our social group, that we are not a threat. That's its primary function, as we understand it thus far. So what's interesting is that when you make these animal sounds, these reflexive sounds like yelping in pain or surprise or sneezing or laughing, when you do these things, you exhale in a particular way, in a certain way. So before I talk about how this relates to singing, I have to share with you I don't know. I have to share with you that these are my correlations, right? These are not from scientific studies. In fact, trying to research this was pretty frustrating. I really wanted to talk about this today and spend a lot of time on my sciencey websites. It's just frustrating. One of the papers that I read most of, not all of, on Science Direct said, detailed descriptions of respiratory dynamics have not been published so far because of the inability to measure without instrumentation that affects them, right? It's just like voice study. We can't really measure what we want without interrupting the thing we're trying to measure. So, anyway, a little frustrating, but here we go anyway. Here we go. So here's what I have learned, combined with why I think this works. The muscles of your take two. The muscles of your abdominal wall have an antagonistic relationship with your diaphragm. You have antagonistic muscle pairs all over your body. And what that means is that as one muscle contracts, the other muscle relaxes or lengthens. So when the diaphragm contracts to inhale, the abdominal wall relaxes to allow for a larger thoracic or chest cavity. When you exhale, your abdominal wall contracts and your diaphragm relaxes to allow for that exhalation. So when you laugh or when you breathe like a chimp, when you make animal sounds, that relationship is exploited. It is kicked into overdrive. The abdominal wall is supercharged, which you can feel actually if you poke your fingers into your side while you actually laugh, or if you coughed or you sneezed and you were pushing into your abdominal wall, you would feel that. You would feel how strong, really surprisingly strong your abdominal wall gets. So your abdominal muscles contract in this really strong way, and the diaphragm responds to that by relaxing. But here's the super fun part. Your larynx is on the same branch of your nervous system that your diaphragm is. They're both innervated by the 12th cranial nerve, which is also known as the vagus nerve. So anything that affects your diaphragm is going to affect everything along that same nerve. And actually, well, I won't say that. So that system is called an H reflex. And you experience that system that one part of a branch of the nervous system gets stimulated and it affects everything along that same branch. We experience that every single day in different ways. So the diaphragm and the larynx are always talking to each other through this shared innervation. So going back to the time that you laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed, your larynx was subject to these violent expulsions of air, but from a muscular point of view, it just wasn't working that hard. It just wasn't working hard at all. Your hard-working abdominal muscles, and like I said, they work really hard when you make these reflexive animal sounds. We're sending the signal to your larynx that it didn't have to work that hard. or more appropriately, it was not sending the signal to the larynx that it had to work that hard. Oh, Grace is here. Hi, Grace. And Suzanne is here. Hi, Suzanne. The larynx was behaving as efficiently as possible using the least amount of muscle tension or muscle load, bioelectric load for fancy talk. It was using the least amount of muscle tension to create the sound of laughter. Isn't that kind of cool? So now let's bring that back to singing. If you could teach your body that the way you breathe when you sing is the same way you breathe when you laugh, you would allow for wonderful vocal ease. And actually, I teach this in my neurovocal certification class, BTW. When I teach this to my students, my voice students, they reach pitches they thought were out of their range. I use it to help that process of bridging over breaks, because if you can get that larynx to relax a little bit, marvelous things can happen. As you know, you've all experienced that. And my pro students, my gigging students, they can sing really long gigs night after night, and their voices feel fine. But you have to make that neurological association and correlation. You have to build that nerve pathway. So it doesn't happen that fast, but it can happen, and it does happen, and it's really interesting and really powerful. So anyway, if you want to see the how-to of this, it's on my YouTube channel. If you put Chimp in the comments, the Neurovocal Bot will send you a link to that video. You can also go straight to my channel if you want. You can, you know what, you can share that video with your students if you want to, because it does talk a little bit about how breathing works. It's very user-friendly. It's supposed to be user-friendly, as you know. I'm all about user-friendly. So please remember to opt in for the reminder for next week's video, because next week I am doing an encore of my masterclass, which is about getting healthy, authentic, popular sound. So if you missed that last week, you're going to want to tune in, because those masterclasses go away. They don't stay forever. Anyway, and I hope you can join me, because we have more interesting things to talk about. Yay! Thank you for being here with me today. I am Meredith Colby. I support voice teachers to create confident teaching of popular styles. My book and information about the upcoming neurovocal certification class can be found at meredithcolby.com. I am grateful for your time and your attention. Have a great week. Bye.